All right, let's get underway. We got a lot to talk about. It's been an interesting month. It's been an exciting month. A lot has happened. Welcome in, everybody. Third edition, our third cup of coffee with Carlsen here at Verandas. We appreciate it. I've got some new people who have not been to Coffee with Carlsen. Great to see you guys. We have people that have been here before, so thanks for coming. I am Andy Garcia. I'm the voice of the Huskies, my 12th season. So it's been fun so far, and this season is just getting underway. This team is not even close to being as good as they're going to be, and they're good now. 7-1, 7 wins in a row. How about this team? All right, 7 straight wins, 4 straight on the road, 3 buzzer beaters by 3 different players. Tell you how deep the team is. 2 MAC Player of the Weeks. We have one of them here. Shelby Coker is here, the reigning MAC Player of the Week. Hi, Shelby. Game winner. Asia Davis also MAC Player of the Week last week. We've got 1 MAC Scholar Athlete of the Week. Asia Davis was that last week. So we got a lot of good things happening. So I'm not going to take too much time. Tell you what's going on today. We're going to hear from Lisa. She's going to talk about the team and some great stuff. And recruiting, some of that came out this past month as well. So I'm going to talk about the trip to Navy and just how well the team is playing and how deep and just how fun it's been. You'll hear about that. Some special thanks, Northwestern Medicine. Thanks for everything. And Bill here at Verandas. Do a great job. Thank you for a meal today. Great stuff. And always fun to be here. Sean Frazier, Vice President, Director of Athletics and Recreation, is here, our sports administrator. But when he's not with us, Anton Goff is also with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director, and does a lot with the academic support system. He also was on the last trip with us, going to Eastern Illinois. He saw the thrills of victory, saw a last-second shot, but also enjoyed ice cream with us. Good, right, Anton? Not too bad. We enjoy our ice cream. I want to talk a little about what's going to happen coming up on December 17th for the next home game. NIU women's basketball is partnering again with the Safe Passage for the holiday donation drive. Again, it's going to be in the middle of the tables. You'll see the sheet and the items that are needed. And again, all the donations go to the Safe Passage Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Crisis Center. So that's coming up on Saturday, December 17th, the SIUE game. So there's some items there that are needed. Hopefully you can help us out with that. It's also Ugly Sweater Game. And I need to get an ugly sweater. I don't have any ugly sweaters. So it's also wear your Christmas sweater to the game on Saturday, December 17th. All right, got one more road game at Lindenwood, then we're back home on the 17th. All right. You'll see on the tables, too, there's small cups, holiday gifts. Those are for you. Take them, please. Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. So take them if you see one. So they're for you. All right, I'm going to bring up Coach Carlsen. There's a lot to talk about. It's been a fun month. This team has not lost since the last time we were here. 7 in a row. It's been so exciting. Like I said, this team is not even close to where they're going to be moving forward. Coach Carlsen.
Thank you, Andy. Is that my papers? All right, I want to start also with a couple of thank yous. As always, Coach Sudd is here. Her staff is here. So thank you very much, softball. And one other shout out, Adam Kapp is here, and many of you may not know Adam. He is our athletic trainer. Along the way since I've been here, we've had some adversity at times, trying to keep people healthy and making sure the roster is available on game day. And Adam has done a phenomenal job of making sure that our players are ready on game day. We can only be as good as the players available to play the game. And between Adam and Trevor, our strength coach, a lot of times in the office we say they're the real MVPs because you have to be able to have the people on our team available to play on game day, and they do a tremendous job. So thanks, Cap, for everything you do. The last time I stood up here, it was actually the week of early signing from a recruiting standpoint, but it was a day early, so I couldn't talk about the kids that we were going to sign. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time there. We were able to sign 2 student athletes during the early signing period. One of them is Maddie Fay, a 6'1" forward from Fremd High School. Maddie comes with a connection to NIU. Both her dad and her uncle have ties to the football team. Fremd is one of the schools in the state they're really well coached. They're going to have an opportunity to win a state title. And so she's going to come into the program very ready for the college game. We're excited about her. Again, she's a great rebounder, lefty. I know my staff is really excited to kind of be able to work with her in a one-on-one situation, but she's a competitive kid and somebody that I think is going to help us right away. And then we were also able to sign Shannon Blotcher, a swing player, I would say guard, out of Montini Catholic. Another really notable program in the state. They will also have a chance, different class, to win a state title. She is a big, strong guard, about 5'10", great defender. And again, I think somebody who is going to transition to the college game rather rapidly. And I think both of these young ladies have an opportunity to help us very early in their careers. They were both recruited by other teams in the MAC, which, as a competitive person, it always makes me really happy when we get them away from anybody else in the MAC. But they'll have a chance, again, to be special players for us. So we did sign those two young ladies early. Andy mentioned, we are 7-1. We haven't had this kind of start since like 1990 or something like that. It hasn't been easy. I mean, some nights it seemed easy and some nights it has not seemed easy. I know as they're scrolling through up here, I think all of the buzzer beaters are on here, which is exciting to see. We're also, as of today, although the new poll comes out today, number 15 in the country in the mid-major poll, which is something new and exciting for us. And I'm going to take you all the way back because we do have a lot of basketball to talk about. And as is tradition, I talk about each game as we go. So again, I stood up here after going to Notre Dame, which was a great experience. It seems like it didn't even happen. It was so far long ago. And we were preparing for DePaul. It was our first win versus DePaul in almost 30 years and the first time in 20 tries. That's a big number. And the atmosphere was electric. Having the band there, I think, was great. The crowd was great. And then I think, again, the product on the floor was great. We talked about going into that game how critical it was going to be that we took care of the basketball. And we thought if we did, we would have a chance. So as we talk through these games, I'm going to have notable stats for you. So hopefully you guys love numbers. If you do, you're going to love the next 20 minutes or so as I get ready to talk. We only had 11 turnovers. So we have a board in the locker room, and we talk about different statistical goals for each game. And one of them is to turn the ball over less than 15 times a game. So that'll give you a little bit of context. Another one that we talk about is having 20-plus assists. And that's a tough number, but that's another one of our goals. So as I talk through these, that'll give you some idea how excited we are about some of the statistics that we've been able to accomplish. But we had 11 turnovers and we had 22 assists. So both of those were huge numbers for us against DePaul. We also had 13 threes, which that doesn't hurt, and shot 53% for the game and shot 82% from the line. So again, offensively, we were really able to get what we were hoping we would get. We took care of the basketball, and again, most of you were there. DePaul's a team that really likes to turn you over. They're going to continue to press, and I thought, in particular, our guards handled that really, really well. Shelby led us with 24 and 6 assists. She also had 4 threes. Asia had 20 on 9 of 12 shooting. Janae had 16, 4 threes. Jaden had 11, 3 threes. And Tara had 10 with 2 threes and 4 assists. So another theme that you'll see throughout the course of talking about the games that we've played is we've had a lot of different people do a lot of different things and been huge parts of our success. Just 3 days later, we played Southern Indiana, 11 o'clock, Education Day. Reflecting back on that game a little bit, and Southern Indiana is a very good team, but I thought we were a little bit of DePaul hangover. We came out ready to play, but really the third quarter was the difference. We talked in the locker room about really trying to get back on track, being who we were. And in the third quarter, we outscored them 21-6. So really that was the difference in the game. And again, we're going to figure out a way to get it done in different ways. And when I look at the Southern Indiana game, it was that we got it done. Asia and Shelby both had 15. Emma had 10. So again, 3 or 4 in double figures is always going to be a good thing for us. And then 2 days later, again, if you were there, we played Western Illinois. That was quite a night on a lot of different levels. A record-breaking night for sure. We set a school record for 21 threes. Before it was 18, I think, at Eastern a few years ago. It was a great night for Janae. She ended up with 9 threes and 32 points. That put her in the 1,000-point club. And also gave her 200 career threes, which is top 5 historically. So all 14 players played, all 14 players scored. So again, there was a lot of great things in that game against Western. Then we jumped on the road and have been on the road since. We went to Detroit Mercy. Winning on the road is never easy because a lot of times there's factors that either are controllable or aren't controllable, and you kind of roll with it. It got crazy down the stretch, to say the least. We led the entire game. And you'll see behind me, I know that the Sports Center clip is up there. So let me walk you through that a little bit. They hit a couple of shots late in the game that were tough shots, like a contested 3. Then they hit one like the girl wasn't even hardly looking at the basket, turns around and shoots it. We call timeout. We have 0.6 on the clock. The game is tied. And Adam draws up a great play. Asia had really been dominant that game, and so they were going to make sure that Asia Davis didn't get the basketball, which in fact was great for us because with only 0.6 on the clock, we were going to get it over the top. Jaden sets a great screen. Emily comes off. Shelby's got the ball right in front of me, and I'm yelling, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it. She's probably like, yeah, I got this. She makes a great pass to Emily. She hits it at the buzzer. I feel like they reviewed it seemed like 5 hours. But we were pretty sure. They showed one replay on the screen in the gym, and we were pretty sure that she got off in time. I actually thought they were maybe reviewing it to see if there was any time left. So they review it, and then the official comes out, and they do this. I mean, mostly that would be no good, right? No, they're meant, no, game over. So the emotion on the Detroit side, they were elated because they thought it didn't count. And I'm looking at him like, wait, what? And she's like, no, I mean game over. And so we shook hands and we came home. So that was fun. Notable stats from that game, though, I mentioned Asia was really good. She had 20 and 11. Shelby had 12. 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Laura had 11. She was 2 for 2 from 3-point range. I played 12 players. Again, a lot of our bench got the opportunity to step on the floor, and we only turned it over 10 times. So again, those are really good things and a recipe for success. Then we came home, and that was about Thanksgiving time. It was really special, I think, that our roster is made up of a lot of fairly local talent. And so we had practice Thursday morning on Thanksgiving morning, and then everybody got a chance to either go home and spend time with their family, and the few people who couldn't go home went home with a teammate. And so everybody got Thanksgiving meal. We talked a lot about just how thankful we were for each other. And then the next day we came back on Friday, and that's when we flew out to Navy. That trip was kind of everything I hoped it would be. We got an opportunity to spend some time together, obviously. We also got an opportunity to tour the Naval Academy, which was really cool. In fact, you see a lot of the pictures on the slideshow behind me. It was in between games, so everybody was happy except for our tour guide, which was the guy that was on staff after the Navy game. He was not very happy. But he still did a great job. I respect him for that. So the game versus Navy, to say the least, we came out ready to play. The first quarter, we scored 27 points. And that really was, again, kind of the indicator of how the game was going to go. All 14 players played, which was critical, especially when we were playing in back-to-back games, because we knew Richmond was going to be really good the next day. So we were able to rest some of our starters and not have them have to play significant minutes against Navy. I think actually Emma was the only one who played more than 20 minutes, and it was like 21. So we had 4 in double figures. Emma did lead us with 14, which was really cool because If you remember, she's from Vermont, and that was about as close as we were going to get for a lot of her friends and family. So she had a lot of people in the stands. So it's always good that in that situation, she was able to play well. Asia had 13 and 11. Interestingly enough, 10 of those 11 rebounds were offensive. I'm not going to tell you how many of them were off her own missed shot, but that's okay. We still love her. Tara had 10. Johnay had 10. We did have 12 threes again, which is a great number. Shot 50% from three-point range. 24 assists and only 13 turnovers. So a lot of good things on the stat sheet in that game against Navy. And again, able to beat them on their home court was pretty special. Which set us up for our game against Richmond. Richmond plays in the Atlantic 10, a very notable program. They've had a lot of success over the last few years. Unlike Detroit, this buzzer beater, we only led for 2.5 minutes of the game. But it was the right 2.5 minutes, for sure. We tied it up with about 3:50 to play. We hit 9 threes that game, but none were bigger than the ones that we hit down the stretch. John A. hit one to tie it back up with about 3 minutes to go, and then Shelby hit back-to-back threes to put us up 1 and then to put us up 4. So we had the ball. Game is tied. There's 14 seconds left. Again, Adam puts our kids in a great situation where we're just going to run through the middle of the floor and trust that we're going to make a good decision with the people on the floor, which is exactly what we did. Funny, though, and many of you know John A., like she would much rather shoot than pass, right? We all would agree with that. And I'm not telling her anything that she doesn't already know. So the ball's in her hand. It's getting late on the game clock, and she makes a great pass to Jaden, who is wide open from 3. Jaden calmly sinks it. We win the game, and after the game, or even on the way home, John A. was like, "There's nobody in the world that thought I was going to pass it," but she sure did. You know, the interesting thing also against Richmond, and I mentioned this to my staff afterwards, I see a different look on this team's face in those situations. There was never, and we were down, I think, 14 at one point. There was never a look of panic because we had gotten shots. We weren't necessarily knocking them down like we had been, but we knew that if we continued to stick to the game plan, we were going to be okay and chip away in the second half. And again, at every timeout, I felt like our players were really locked in. So I knew we were going to have a chance. So to kind of see that all come to fruition was a great feeling. Again, notable stats from that game. Asia had 20 and 14. Shelby had 12, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. John A. had 13. Asia was MVP of the tournament. Shelby was on the all-tournament team. So those are nice accolades also. And then that's really what led to Asia's Player of the Week. Last week, as well as the Max Scholar Athlete. And then we came back and we were preparing for what we knew would be a great Eastern Illinois team. At the time, they were undefeated. They have the preseason Ohio Valley Player of the Year on their team, Loretta Washington. And she was everything as advertised. But we have some pretty good players too, so that's always exciting. All 3 of our wins, and Andy mentioned this, all 3 of our last-second wins have come with different people stepping up at different times. And this time was Shelby's turn. She ended up with 26 points, but none were bigger than the 2 that she hit with 2 seconds on the shot clock. And again, great situation. We knew in a tie ball game we were going to get the last shot. Put the ball in Shelby's hands, let her come off a screen, and trust that she's going to make a great decision. And I can see it so vividly in my mind, and I'm sure it was this way for you, Shell. They switched on a screen, so their post player, their 5 player, switches on to Shelby, and she's about 6'3", long, athletic, and I can tell that she's just like, no way this girl can guard me, right? So she's like, if you give me space, I'm going to shoot it. Or if you get tight, I'm going to take you to the basket. And she just played with her long enough to be like, okay, well, now I'm just going to step back and shoot it over you. And to see it all unfold in front of our bench was really cool. Again, notable stats from that game. Asia had a huge game, had 20 points and 21 rebounds, which tied a career high for her. Jaden had 8 assists, which is a career high for her, with no turnovers, which is even more impressive. And we are 14 of 15 from the foul line, which in a close game is always a key statistic. That is what garnered Shelby Player of the Week this week for her efforts against Eastern. So all of that brings us to today. Some more statistics currently in the MAC, which I love to look at this time of year. Asia leads the league in rebounding, which is no surprise. I expect her to stay there all year at 11 a game. She's 7th in scoring at 16 points a game, and she's 2nd in field goal percentage at 56%. Shelby leads the league in assists at 5 a game. She's 5th in three-point percentage at 43%. Jaden leads the league in assist-to-turnover ratio, which when you have 8 assists and no turnovers, that's definitely going to help your cause at about 3-1. And she also leads the league in three-point percentage. And sometimes when I look at that number, you know, what Jaden has done and her growth as a player from last year to this year, you know, she started 13 games for us at the end of last year when she had to step in and play the point for us and play a ton of minutes. And throughout the course of those 13 games, a lot of teams felt like they didn't need to guard her at the three-point line. She knew that. All summer, she worked on making sure that that wasn't going to be the case this year. So that was her one goal this summer, to make sure that her three-point shooting was going to be to the point where they had to guard her. And to see her be able to shoot it so efficiently right now just puts a smile on my face, because all those hours in the gym this summer has really worked out for her, which is awesome. So she's shooting 53% from three-point range. Johnny leads the league in threes per game at almost 3. Again, that shouldn't be a surprise. She's 4th in percentage at 43%. So as a team, we have 3 of the top three-point percentage shooters in the league. And we're shooting 39% as a team, which also is the top, making almost 10. So when I think about the three-point numbers and the success that we've had there, I still don't think we are a live and die by the 3 sort of team. And again, when you have Asia, you can't be a live and die by the 3 because you have the best post player in the league. But if we can be that efficient from behind the arc and have the presence of the post player that we do have, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to do the scout against us, because that makes us pretty hard to guard. This week is finals week, which means it's a little bit different for everybody. I think for the most part, by tomorrow, all of our players will be about done. But they've had a couple days off. Today, a lot of just like individual work they've had in between their finals. We'll only have a couple days of practice in preparation for Lindenwood on Monday. So this is a gap, again, that we always have, and it is a little bit different. So we have 3 games left before the first of the year. I mentioned Monday against Lindenwood, then we are home finally on the 17th to play SIUE. And then we're back on the road to play IUPUI on the 21st before the players will have about a 5-day break to go home, spend the holiday with their families, which will be really nice. And then we'll have a decent amount of time when we come back after the holiday in preparation for MAC play. Sometimes that's a little tight. This year we'll have about probably 6 or 7 days to prepare for our first MAC game at Central Michigan. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what the rest of the month looks like for us. You know, it's an exciting time of year. And as we talk through all these games, November is packed, jam-packed for us as far as games. And then December gets a little bit more sparse. But this group has done a great job of really kind of keeping the blinders on and just looking at the next opportunity in front of them. And I think if we can do that, we have the opportunity to continue to have a lot of success. We do have some players here that I know Andy's going to get a chance to interview a little bit. But before we do that, does anybody have questions for me? Yes, sir.
What's the rest of the MAC done? Big teams in MAC right now.
Yeah, so I mentioned the mid-major poll, and there is, I believe, 5 teams in the top 20, or the top 25, which Toledo has played really good basketball. They've lost twice, but one was to Duke and one was to, Adam, help me out, who else they lose to? Penn State. By 1. So they are again, they're picked to win the league. They return everybody. They've played really good basketball. Kent State has played really well. I think one of their they beat Oklahoma State. It's a big win for them. So they're in the top 25. Ball State has been really, really good. Bowling Green has played some phenomenal basketball. So the way it kind of shakes out now, I feel like you have 5 teams who have had great non-conference competition and have had success, with us included. It's also interesting. Central Michigan is still trying to kind of figure it out. They actually won their first game the other night. So a team that has really dominated the league in the last 4, 5, 6, well, probably longer than that, as long as I've been here. And the same thing with Buffalo. They had a coaching change, and they're trying to figure things out. So everybody's used to hearing about Central and Buffalo and going to the NCAA tournament and doing what they've been able to do. But they've struggled a little bit. So it's a little bit of a changing of the guard, I hope. But that's kind of where the MAC is right now.
What did Coach Bruno say to you? I'm dying to know.
After the game? So we had talked, interestingly enough, we had talked before the game. And since I got this job, he has been wanting to play home and home. And their program has been, as you know, really, really good. And I felt like we needed to get to a point where we could be at least competitive, right? So finally, I say this all the time. I said, Doug bullied me into this home and home. So we were talking before the game, and he said, do you want to keep this going? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I think our non-conference schedule might kind of be ready for next year, so I'm not sure. So after the game, we're going through the line. He said, do you change your mind? Are you sure you don't want to play this home and home? And I said, I'll get back to you. So that's what he said at the end of the game. But we should all be huge DePaul fans now. We want them to win a lot of games. Other questions?
What's on your Christmas list, Coach?
What's on my Christmas list? All of you parents in the room will understand this. I have one kid left at home, and the boys are off doing their thing. But there's nothing that makes me happier as when they all come home. And I know that sounds sappy, and I'm not really a sappy person. But to have all the boys home will be really nice because they'll be home for 4 or 5 days. And I'm going to enjoy that. And they're super fans. Some of you have seen them on Twitter at times. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But they are Husky fans for sure. And so they're excited about what's going on right now. I hear from them all the time. But to have them home will be a lot of fun. All right. Any other questions? All right, Andy. Bring the players up. Show is yours.
All right. Don't forget, too, we got Courtney, we've got Laura, we got Blue coming up. It's still to come. We're going to hear from Connie Tiberry, Director of Track and Field and Cross Country. She's coming up still. Also want to mention, we're on a new radio station now. I'm on 94.9 WDKB. Sean Lowe is here. I want to say Sean Lowe, who now works at NIU, but also you hear here on 94.9 WDKB. He's here today. Sean, appreciate it. And again, it's been a great partnership so far with us. Looking forward to some more wins on 94.9 WDKB. All right, enough of me. All right, you got it? All right, right here to my left is Lauren Nickel. All right, we've got Lauren Nickel, who's had a really good start to the year. Got some playing time last year. Started a little bit, starting this year as well. I got Courtney Drake on the far side. Courtney is one of the newcomers on the team. And I've got Brooke Blumenfeld, who's our lone freshman on the team. So I'll start with Laura because she's closest to me, Lauren. You got playing time last year. And off-season, we heard from the coaches, everyone said, wait till you see what Laura's done. She's worked hard. She's come in, and we've started all year. What did you work off in the off-season to get ready for what you've done so far? You had a really good start to the year.
Yeah, I think this summer and in the off-season, I just worked really hard at continuing to develop my game, really work on my shot and just finishes around the rim, and then continue working in the weight room, getting stronger and faster, and then just being prepared for whatever role coach put me in this season. Because
you've done a little bit of everything. You brought the ball up. You've been part of everything. You're rebounding. You've scored a little bit. What's it meant for you to have that type of start to the season? What momentum, what confidence do you have right now?
Yeah, I think versatility is like a strength in my game, and being able to handle the ball and shoot and play defense all those things are very important, and that's definitely helped my confidence, and I think my teammates are confident in me, and my coaches are confident too.
Laura's from Marshall, Wisconsin, the big metropolitan city of Marshall. We'll talk more about Marshall in a second. Blue in the middle, Brooke Blumenfeld, the lone freshman. Tell me a little bit about the transition from high school, being in high school, moving into D1, and how you've transitioned that so far.
Okay, so from high school to college, I think the biggest difference for me personally is just like the strength and the physicality. So in high school, I never really had a lifting program, and when I got here, it was like, a shock to see how strong, like I think the first workout we had, I think I was guarding Asia, and I was like, what? Just like, so I think like lifting has really helped me become stronger and just continuing to do that. Yeah.
Courtney from Wilton, Iowa, another big-time city in Iowa, Wilton. But Courtney came from Kirkwood Community College, where they won a national championship on the junior college side. Her and Tati Hodges-Johnson, both on NIU, came over. So, Courtney, you know about winning. You've gotten there. You've gotten a national championship. Talk about the momentum you feel like, the confidence you bring in to a new squad like NIU.
Yeah, winning is really fun, obviously. So I just, like, being at Kirkwood, I think I developed a lot of confidence in myself, and, like, just seeing how much it matters when you believe in your teammates and the coaching staff, and, like, it just makes a big difference, like, being on the court and, like, just believing in winning and stuff. So, yeah, I just think, coming here, it's just been so much fun because we've obviously won 7 in a row, so just keep it going. And, yeah.
Courtney, what's it meant to come into a team, and why was NIU the right spot? You come in after a national championship, community college. There's teams that want you. Why was NIU the right spot for you?
Well, when I first met the girls, I could just tell like the team is very like family oriented, and that was one of my favorite things. And of course, the style of play, like it's fast paced. That's what I've always been used to, and I love that too. Yeah, just like when I visited it, I just got that gut feeling like this is where it's supposed to be.
Blue, tell me a little bit about the recruiting and why NIU is the right spot, and going through that, and why you felt this is the place you want to be in.
Okay, so this is actually a fun story. So I have torn both my ACLs. I tore my left one in 8th grade, and then the summer going into my junior year, when people get a lot of offers for AAU. So I already had my Northern offer, and when I tore my right one, of course I was freaking out, wasn't sure what was going to happen. But Northern stuck with me the whole way through the recruiting process. They never had a doubt in their mind, that the offer wasn't going to be there. And I really just appreciated that, because I thought that showed a lot of loyalty, and they cared about me more than just a basketball player, as a person too. So that's why I thought Northern was the right spot.
Laura, tell me about Marshall, Wisconsin, and the big city of Marshall. And did you play basketball at a young age? Did you play other sports? What attracted you to basketball?
Marshall is a small town close to Madison. It's got about 3,000 people. I graduated with 70 in my class. So, small town, but I started playing basketball in 3rd grade. My dad has been my coach since 3rd grade. He coached me in high school too. High school basketball was really fun. We won 2 state championships, and
But to have your dad be your coach, is he still the one you go to for advice? You need just to talk about basketball or anything, is he the one that is right there for you?
Yeah, I talk to him about basketball all the time. He tells me what's going on with the high school team and who he's scouting and film and all that stuff. So I talk to him a lot about that.
Brooke, we haven't seen you on the court for a game, but you've been, and Coach and I talked about it in the radio side, this team is so deep that the scout team has really helped you guys out getting prepared for teams. Being ready, I thought the press has been a big part of that. We've seen a lot of teams try to press us or different defenses, and you and the scout team, and Courtney's been a part of that too. Talk about the pride you take and just being on that team. And you have to go against Asia, and you have to go against some of the other players, but why has that been important, and why have you guys been so good in helping out this team?
Yeah, I love being on the blue team. I think it's honestly so much fun. We get to prepare our starters, and it's really essential to winning the game, because if we don't go 100% and try to replicate the players that the coaches ask us to, they won't be ready for the game. And blue team. It's always fun to be on. Yeah.
And you guys score. Like, you don't make it easy. You guys are pretty good, which is good too. All right. One thing about, and again, we have playing cards on the tables, and they got the different playing cards, and their cards are up here. But one of those for Blue is you had a pet rat, and the pet rat's name was Pickles. Tell me about Pickles and how you got that rat.
Okay, so this also, believe it or not, ties in with my ACL. So actually, going through some stuff, with my right one. And one day after school, I was just like, you know what, I need some company. Like, I need to get a pet. So I go to PetSmart, and, guinea pigs, kind of expensive. Ferrets, pretty pricey. And I saw a rat for $8. And I just bought a cage. I bought the rat. But here's the part that makes it good. I hid it from my parents because my mom doesn't let rats, no rodents in the house. So I had it about for 2 months until my mom found out. Then it was a bigger issue, but she was my best friend.
Pickles? How did the name come up?
I like pickles.
Okay. Courtney, do you have a pet rat by any chance, or any pets? Or one thing about Courtney, you play basketball and you right-handed, but everything else is left-handed. How does that happen?
That's a great question. So none of my parents or siblings are left-handed. My grandpa is, so I guess I kind of got it from him. But funny story, in kindergarten, I wrote with both hands, and my teacher finally talked to my parents. They're like, she's writing with both hands. Do you prefer her to write left-handed or right-handed? And they're like, just do right-handed. It's set up easier for that anyways. So that's how I started writing right-handed, I guess. I really don't have an answer for why I'm only right-handed in basketball, because I played volleyball and softball in high school, and I'm left-handed in those, so.
All right. Well, it is finals week, so I'll start with Courtney. What's your favorite class? What's your least favorite class?
My favorite class right now is probably my Foundations of Education class, because I want to be a teacher. So my least favorite, I don't.
You don't have one? That's good. All right, you love school. There's nothing wrong with that. Blue, the same question to you. Your favorite class and your least favorite class?
My favorite class right now is English. I really love writing. I actually have diaries dating back to 3rd grade. Every grade I've kept diaries of. And then my least favorite, definitely psychology. I have that final tomorrow, so everyone wish me luck.
Laura, for you, the same question.
I'd say my favorite class is my human development class, and then least favorite, probably chemistry.
Chemistry's tough. All right, one final question. Again, it's been a great start to the season. Laura, talk about the confidence that you guys have as a team. 7 in a row, best start in a long time. But where's the confidence level right now for this team?
Yeah, it's very exciting that we're 7-1, and I think we have just stick together as a team so well, and a few of those games have come close, but how we just come together and find that strength in each other, we've been able to pull out those wins. And so we're excited to finish up non-conference, and then excited to start getting into conference here.
Blue, we make a big part, this is a family. And a lot of people may say it, but it is. It's a family atmosphere. What is it about this team that it feels like they've got momentum? It feels like the best is still to come.
Yeah, this team has been amazing. I think there's just a lot of pride in the work that the returning players have put in, and the new players. I think they do. I get to learn from some of the best players on the team. Asia, she will critique me, point out stuff, and it really helps me with my game. And I just think I feel we take a lot of pride in coach plays 14 players. We're pretty deep, and I think that's exciting when we go to MAC play.
Courtney, again, you're coming from a national championship. Do you feel like this team has got that type of mentality that you've seen when you played at Kirkwood?
Yeah, I definitely believe that. You can just tell, and everyone believes in each other. Everyone wants to do the best they possibly can. I've definitely seen that.
Appreciate the time. Thank you very much, ladies. All right, Courtney Drake, Brooke Bloomfeld, Laura Nickel, thank you. All right, so we move on to really looking forward to our next guest. She's now in her 19th season as the head coach of NIU track and field. This is now her 12th season as the Husky director of track and field and cross country. Under her watch, listen to some of these numbers. The Huskies have broken 121 school records. They've had 38 MAC titles won, qualified 58 for NCAA regionals, and sent 7 individuals to NCAA championships. Yes, she's done all that. Olympian back in 1996, which is very cool. But even all that, she's just a really cool person and a really nice person. This is Connie T-Berry.
First one to thank Coach Carlsen and his staff for having me here and your success. I mean, I'm hanging my hat on it. So hopefully we can get a little bit of that mojo and get our season going in January. We've had one meet. Right now, not a whole lot going on track and field wise, but practice. But we've been practicing since after Labor Day, so September. So the girls have been itching to get to a competition, which we did this past Friday. So a lot of practice, a lot of mental preparation. Our big thing right now is staying healthy. You got a lot of practicing going on and changing facilities. We want to make sure that, you know, the girls are getting serviced in the training room properly, and they're doing a great job. And our strength and conditioning program is making sure that our ladies are ready to go. So we had our first competition on the 2nd, and we went to Notre Dame. We opened up at Notre Dame as well. Great facility, 300-meter track, so not that much wear and tear on the ladies' bodies as far as the 200-meter tracks. We ended up with 3 wins. Khadijah, who's also our MAC champion in the 400 from indoor last year, she won the 200. We had Jasmine got second in the long jump. The Scout won the hurdles. So just a great showing. We were a little leery going in. The good part is that from our 3rd and 4th place last year in the conference, we didn't lose a whole lot. We lost maybe one girl on the relay, but as far as individual scores, all of those girls come back. And then we turned around and filled some holes in some places with some girls out of the portal that were juniors and seniors and sophomores. So now you got Aquila, who's in the hurdles, that's running the same times the Scouts running, who got second in the MAC. You got Henny and Dimir in the high jump, who, you know, are doing a great job right now. And what they jumped at our first meet would have placed in the conference. So the very first meet, we're seeing great things out of the student athletes. And, you know, we're just itching for January. The girls are really bought in. That's always a big thing, and that's what it sounds like Coach Carlsen has right now. Everyone's bought in to the vision of the coach and what we want to do and where we want to go with the program. And ultimately, she wouldn't say it, but that's a MAC championship. We won't want to jinx it, but that's what we want. That's what Mr. Frazier wants. That's what Mr. DeKalb wants. We all want that. And after the girls getting their rings a couple of years ago, they are now bought into that. We have the support of you all, which is never taken for granted. We appreciate you so much in everything that you do, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a coming to the game, matches, coming to our track meets, which are never home, but I promise you this year, May the 6th, we are going to have a home competition. So looking forward to that. So please come out and support us. Right now, academically, we're doing a great job in the classroom. We're expected to be over a 3-point. That was one of the things that Mr. Frazier told me we had to have. And we didn't have to tell us that. It was just a rough year last year academically. So we was like a 2.99999. But we will be well over a 3.0 this year. And the girls have been working hard, not only on the track, but in the classroom as well. Trying to think if there's anything else right now. We have our first meet January, the 2nd week of January. We will head to Illinois State. And then our nearest indoor home competition will be at the Gately Center. It'll be a DePaul home meet, which is not technically their home, but they rented out the facility. So that'll be in Chicago. So if any of you can come up for that, it'll be it's a beautiful facility. It's a bank track. That could go either way for us because we don't practice on a bank track, but I think the girls are up for it, which is why we're going. We've got a great schedule, as you see on the tables for the outdoor season. We want to make sure that these MAC champions and these girls that are in the top 3 in the conference can get to competitions that are worthy of getting them better. You know, my big thing is I don't care what uniform the competition has on, if it's LSU, if it's Texas A&M. We work hard just like they do. So we're ready to go toe-to-toe with anybody and everybody and let the chips fall where they are. As long as the girls give me everything they have, I have no problem with that. And then they can only get better from there. And so that's what we're trying to instill, which is the same thing that these ladies at the back table have as right now and will continue to have. And I'm so proud of you all. I see you all in the hallway all the time. And, you know, I'm, hi, how you doing? I have to probably speak to you like 5-6 times in one day. You're like that old lady, I don't know what's wrong with her. 52, and then, you know, mine starts to go. So, but no, appreciate you all. Thank you so much for all of your support. And Coach Carlsen, keep it going. I don't know if anybody have questions for a track and field. I love questions. Yes.
Tell us about the Olympics.
Oh, wow. Let me rewind. That's a long time ago. 1996. Probably the most rewarding experience that I've ever had in athletics. It's just like for you all getting to that MAC championship. You work so hard to accomplish something. You put your blood, sweat, and tears in it. I have also had, at that time, 3 knee surgeries. So I have a donor's Achilles in replace of my ACL. I got that done. I tore it in high school. I got that done in 93. Was able to still make the 93 and 95 World Championship team and the 96 Olympic team. So when you have adversity like that happen to you and you never steer, you know, you ladies know I'm talking to you now, and you never steer from your goal, and it's not a matter of if I'm going to be back, but when I'm back, it made making that Olympic team that much more. I mean, it was great. I don't know how to explain it. Then to have it be in the States, it was in Atlanta. You are lucky for the high jump at being held at 9 o'clock in the morning if your grandma or your mom comes out to the meet. But being in the U.S. and to have a packed stadium there to watch high jump at the Olympic Games and have, you know, past professors and family and mom and dad and sister. You know, I've been to Europe where the stands were like that, but they couldn't travel to Europe. So to have them in the stands for me, it was very rewarding for me and then just put that explanation on all the hard work that I had put into my career. Any other questions? I got one question.
All right, she's downplaying her career. She was good. Okay, 2 Olympic trials. She was good. All right, we have raffles to give away. We have 5 items up. All right, I'm gonna get your tickets out. I mean, don't forget as we wrap up too, the cups on the tables, the holiday cups. Please take them. They're yours. And we have a couple other things after that we'll talk about. All right, Laura, what do you got? What do we have? First one is 294957. Nice. Softball in the house. All right, next one, blue. Oh, one thing about me and blue, always be my favorite player. She likes Chipotle just as much as I do. Well, you did every day, but continue. What do you got?
294943.
All right. Anyone? 294943. Don't be shy. There's good gifts back there. All right, we'll hold that. All right. Got that. All right. Oh, you got it? All right, cool.
All right, 294935.
Nice. Congratulations. Nicely done. What do you got? Wait, you got that one still?
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 more, okay? 2 more. All right. Go ahead, Laura.
294933.
Nice. Congratulations. That's the table right there. All right, last but not least, one more, Blue.
294953.
5-3. Not Sean Lowe. Come on. You got it. Congratulations. Thank you very much, ladies. Appreciate it. Just to wrap things up again, it's been a fun month. 7 straight wins. Trying to wrap it up on the road at Lindenwood on Monday, and then we're home. Hopefully we can be back at the Convo on Saturday, December 17th, noon game. Don't forget about the safe passage and that. coming up on the 17th as well. Again, appreciate Northwestern Medicine and Bill here at Verandas for all they've done. Our next one is January 10th, next Coffee with Carlsen. The whole team is going to be here. So on January 10th, the whole team will be here for Coffee with Carlsen. We'll hear from Kim Kester, women's golf, and Sam Morielli for gymnastics. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll see you at the Combo on Saturday, December 17th. Continue to listen on the radio. We're going to have fun. Continue to watch on ESPN. It's going to be a fun year. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Appreciate it. Go Huskies.
Yeah.